this time. Thank you all for coming out today. And we want to learn new things. We want to remind ourselves. We thank God for that. If you haven't been learning that, when you hold your Bible every day, just hold your Bible like that, and it reminds you the things that you have to do. Okay? So that you are always studying the Word of God. I'm always amazed at what my husband's knowledge of the Bible. And when I'm preparing, sometimes I'm preparing to speak, I just call out, because normally we are in different rooms. He's in his study, maybe I'm in the sitting room, and I say, darling, where does this pray that you can. As you grow older, it becomes more difficult to learn. For me, I do mainly scripture memory by song. I sing, so many of the verses I know are the ones that I sing. So that's another way, those of you who find it hard maybe to memorize like that. Many years ago, a friend used to sit with from S2 to S4. She was called. She used to know how to memorize very well. She would just sit there and she would have the whole essay of history in her head. So some of you are very good at that, and I hope that will continue. So I'm going to speak about sexuality. Some of the younger kids were taken out. I don't know where Auntie Petrina is. I see some of the little children. I don't know where they are. Maybe we can find this a little child there who can go and be with the others so that they don't miss out. What is it? You are too scared to say it. Okay? So I try. Did I try? Okay. There are many definitions around sexuality. So this being distinguished by sex, for example, is sexuality. Are you male or female? Just what we have been doing now. I will make you fishers. So definitely you know when the fishers come, you are a female. When the male come, the men come, you are a what? So the condition of being characterized and distinguished by sex. And it's not just about, oh, this one has this or this one doesn't have the other. Okay? It also involves the whole being of an individual. You know, it determines how you think, how you reason, how you react, how you dress, how you behave. Are we still together? You're welcome, Professor. Thank you for coming. Okay? So, being distinguished by sex, but also your whole person as you. What you think, what you reason, how you react, how you dress. So this develops through physical growth. I start out as a little girl, and I grow into a 10-year-old girl, and then I become 14, and then I become 18, and then everything around me is being affected by what I'm doing. So it affects the emotional, it affects the intellectual, it affects the social aspects of your life. Okay? It also goes into what are my interests, or what is my concern, or what am I doing about the sexual activity. What is my ability to be close to someone? How about that feeling I have being attracted to someone else? So it is perfectly normal, and I want to repeat that. It is perfectly normal for all children, everybody of all ages to have what we call sexual thoughts and feelings. In fact, if you don't have them, then we take you to hospital because there is something wrong. Because some of us have those thinking and those thoughts, and then we don't know exactly what to do with them. So today we are going to learn how do we handle those sexual feelings. So what I gave this topic is sexuality, what I need to know. What do I need to know? And after I know, what do I need to do? I'm a counselor by profession. And I don't know if some of you have been to counseling. But sometimes people bring their children to me, especially parents, and say, okay, talk to her, talk to them, because something is going wrong. So I get a lot of people that come to my office. We have offices in Naria. We have a place where we have a nice little place where people come in and they're able, it's a safe place where people are able to talk about it. And then the parent says, that one will not tell you anything. He doesn't talk to us. And I said, no, don't worry, just bring them. By the time we finish, a lot of these things are what we talk about. Someone called me one time and said, Auntie Ruth, I can't concentrate in class. Why? Said, I'm thinking about girls. That's all, a little bit about what John was saying here. I'm just thinking about girls. I can't concentrate, that teacher is talking, but I'm not there. So these are the things that I'm talking about, that it is perfectly normal for us to have sexual thoughts and feelings. Can you repeat after me? It is perfectly normal for all children of all ages to have sexual thoughts and feelings. Let's repeat properly. When I say, you say, okay? It is perfectly normal, for all children of all ages to have sexual thoughts and feelings. So some of you are 9, some of you are 10, some of you are 20, some of you are 30, some of us are 60, some of us I don't know. Yes, but it is perfectly normal. Now we only want to know how to manage those things that we are calling sexuality. Our interest in sexual activity. Should we behave like dogs? Have you ever seen dogs? A sexual thought comes in his head. This Mr. Dog, we used to have a dog called Buster. Mr. because Buster, 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 Buster. So a sexual thought comes in his head. What does he do? He runs after whatever other dog that he sees. And they have their mating there, and then there's no control. And some of you have become like that. You know? You open up something in WhatsApp and then you become wild like a dog. And then they say, where are you? I'm at church, but I'm behind the church doing something else. You have become wild. So how do we temper? How do we manage those things? When I'm close to someone, sometimes in class, I'm a teacher by profession, they make you sit next to girls. And then I go, oh, I am next to a girl. And when I'm close to someone, I feel very attracted. What am I supposed to do? I remember a long time ago, I don't know, darling, if you remember, one of our sons came back and said, Mommy, guess what? This girl put her hand in one of the boys' trousers. We're like, what? So supposing you're sitting next to this girl and she puts her hand in your trouser. Whoa, what do you do? Chaos has occurred. What do you do? Do you see? So ability, what do we do when those things happen? Because they are normal. Let's look at Ecclesiastes 11 And someone, if they get it quickly, you read it for me very, very quickly. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Seven to 10.
7 to 10, it states, light is sweet, and it pleases the eyes to see the sun. However many years anyone may live, let them enjoy them all. But let them remember the days of darkness, for there will be many. Everything to come is meaningless. You who are young, be happy while you are young.
Be happy while you are young. Rejoice, young man.
And let your heart give you joy in the days of
Let your heart give you joy. Let your heart cheer you.
Follow the ways of your heart.
Go follow whatever is making you happy.
And whatever your eyes see. But know that for all these things, God will bring you into judgment.
But know that for all these things, God is going to do what? So he says, let's go and be happy. We don't want to see miserable people. Me, I've had a happy childhood, a happy time. I go and enjoy myself. But he says that all these things, God will bring you into judgment. So we have to be careful about what we do. I have my doom. Do you know that doom? What is doom? Chiman, what does it do? It does what? Someone says it's an insecticide. Another person. So you know it. Eh? But you know, they've given me some water here. And I want to put some doom in there. Is it okay? Should I?
No.
Yes. Who says yes? Stand up and tell me why you are telling me to do that. Tell me. Maybe because you are eating.
It's okay, excuse me. I thought you were going to show us some practical. Yes, I misunderstood.
He misunderstood the question. This is my drinking water. Actually, he's drinking water. And I'm asking each of you, should I put doom in his water? Why? Why? Because that is not what doom does. It's not supposed to go in water. I can go there and put some juice in it, but I'm not supposed to put doom. So doom was manufactured, I don't know by who, Motain or something like that. And when they did the manufacturing, they had directions for use of this doom. Okay? And they said, check well before use. And he said, for flying insects, spread directly onto the insect. If you want to spray the room, close all the windows, then spray and get out for 10 minutes. And then, after spraying for 10 minutes, don't enter the room for 10 minutes. So, it has instruction. Then secondly, it has precaution. Precaution meaning, protect this thing from sunlight. Don't put it in sunlight. Don't put it near fire or on a naked flame or food or water or utensils, but store in a cool, dry, ventilated place. Keep out of reach of children. Okay? And then it also has first aid. Supposing I put it in the water, supposing I put it in my mouth, supposing I put it in my eyes, it says eye contact, rinse eyes with water quickly. Skin contact, wash thoroughly with soap. Everything is written here, by the way. Everything is written on this can here. If you inhale it for a long time, it says avoid prolonged or repeated inhalation of this mist. In the event of excessive inhalation, remove the person to fresh air. So if I go in a room and it's full of this thing, I'm supposed to be taken into fresh air to run away from it. Okay? So these are the directions of a manufacturer. So then I ask, who is your manufacturer? And what kind of instructions did you come with? Do you think he gave some instructions of how you're supposed to behave?
Yes.
Especially in the area of sexuality? But some of us behave like doom. And we want to put doom in water. And we want to put doom in the eyes. And we want to do whatever we want with this thing. And yet the manufacturer did not tell us to do that. So the manufacturer's instructions are as follows. He says, sexuality was created by God and it was very good. That's Genesis 1, 27, 28, 31. And says, God made sexuality for pleasure and propagation. What is propagation? What is propagation? Huh? What is propagation? Procreation.
What you use to multiply.
What you use to multiply.
Yes.
So when a human being is multiplying, what is that called?
Procreation.
And propagation, another word for propagation? Procreation, another word for procreation? Reproduction, another word for reproduction? Huh? Giving birth, okay? So when I give birth, I'm procreating. So God made sexuality that it may be enjoyed. Let no one deceive you that this thing is not nice. It is pleasurable. It is for also having children. Because sometimes you go in schools and they tell you, never, 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 never talk about that. Don't close your eyes. Don't even touch a boy. Don't even touch a girl. And you're like, Banangi, what is this thing? So now we changed the method and we said, you know what? This thing is good. Excellent. It is lovely. You know, you close your eyes and like, whoa, where am I? Eh? So let no one deceive you. It's a very exciting, very, very nice thing. But the instructions also say that sex is exclusive to marriage. What does exclusive mean? Only. Only. Do you hear that? It is what? So then I ask you, so what is marriage? So some of you, when you turn 18, yeah, that's what people say. When you turn 18, you can marry. I mean, you can. When you find someone, a lover, these days you have even words for lover. Because I was talking to someone and said, so he's your boyfriend? No, he's not my boyfriend. He's my boy lover. Oh my goodness. Yeah, things are going out of hand. And I said, so there's a boy lover? Yes, there is. So those words you are coming, they are not part of the manufacturer's instructions. You are coming up with your own instructions. S2, you know, when we're in S2, they would ask you, who is your boyfriend? You know, who's your boyfriend? And you're like, oh, I don't have a, you don't have a boyfriend? Ah, we better get her one. You are creating your own what? Instruction. Sex is exclusive to marriage. You wait until you get married. These rings that we wear are not just for nothing. Eh? This little ring here was given to me on my 25th anniversary. I have another diamonds. Eh? I usually put it on very, very important occasions. You see it is shining there. That was given to me on my 33rd anniversary. This man here, he loves me a lot. He just keeps giving me things. And this one is my marriage ring. It's not the one the one that we have for the day that we were married is very small now. It doesn't fit me. So we got some new ones because we had all grown bigger than we were. But this is my marriage ring. This is my anniversary ring. You know, it's like I got married, then I started these things. And I'm still alive. Because some of you think, because I talked to someone who was 16 and then I said, you know, you have to wait until marriage. He said, until I'm 30, 32. She was like, that is not possible. So I said, so what will happen if you wait? There's nothing. I said, exactly. Are you going to die because you waited? Have you ever had anyone at a funeral? You know you've gone to funerals and say, you people, this woman, she was 16, she had never had sex with anybody, therefore she died. Have you ever had anything like that? Sex is exclusive to marriage, manufacturer's instructions. Sexual immorality is written in those manufacturer's instructions. It says, do not put near the eyes, no immorality, no adultery, no fornication, no sex before marriage, no homosexuality, no what? No what? Because now it's as if things are like, okay, then we are there, WhatsApps are coming, and they're showing girls dancing, and they're showing all these things as if homosexuality is okay. It is not okay. In the manufacturer's instructions, like you are putting doom into the water. Bestiality, what is bestiality? Having sex with animals. Do you know there are some people who have sex with animals? Ew, looks horrible, but it's there. Masturbation. Some of you think it is okay. That is having sex with yourself. If it was okay, we would all stand here and say, you know, yesterday I was okay and I was doing this. Do you ever stand up and tell anybody that? Yeah. It's like saying, you know, yesterday I put doom in my food and after that I ate it. Yeah. It is not part of the plan. 1 Corinthians 6:9 and 12 to 20 and Hebrews 13:4. Sexual immorality. It says, so I've told you, all in the instructions we have instructions, we have precautions, and we have first aid also. So the principles that come out of the instructions is that sex is good. Say it with me.
Sex is good.
Say it.
Sex is good.
And sometimes we even add, sex is good. But sex has consequences. And sex must not control you. And that sometimes sex can be handled by running. Who ran in the Bible? Joseph. This woman was all over her. We must have sex, we must have sex. And he said, let me run away. It got him into trouble, but he ran away. Sex is designed to complete intimacy. But there are also perversions. I think I've talked about them. Homosexuality, anything that is outside God's order for sexuality is a perversion. I've talked about some of them. Homosexuality, lesbianism, incest. Because what's happening now, some of you are living very near your brothers and sisters and cousins and fathers and grandfathers. And sometimes you find yourself being raped, being defiled. We call it incest, having sex with your relative, with a person who is like your cousin or your brother. That is a perversion because it leaves scars in your life. I worked with an organization called Hope After Rape. And my dear, there are many things that I saw. Even now in my counseling, there are many people who are suffering because they keep quiet. For years and years, Someone picks you from school, takes you home, uses you. You are in P3, P4, P5. He's the one who picks you up. He's the one who picks you up. He's the one who picks you up. And in P7, when you go to S1, is when you get the relief. But you don't tell anyone. That's a perversion. So what we talk about? What do we talk about in sexuality? Why do we first of all discuss it? We want you to develop a healthy understanding of love, of intimacy and sex. You see us here together here? This is healthy. Can you stand up, please? This is healthy. I'm not ashamed of being with this man. He's not ashamed of telling me he loves me. He's not ashamed of being intimate with me. He's not ashamed we sleep on the same bed. We are not ashamed of that. And that's what we want you to understand. That actually you can develop a healthy love relationship with someone, get married to them and live and be happy. It's also important for you to gain healthy attitudes about you, about yourself. Some of you have distorted views. I am ugly, I am horrible, I think nobody loves me. So when the first boy comes and says, hey, in a big voice, you're like, hey, because you have a very bad attitude about yourself. Okay? You need to also get accurate information and correct all the myths that have come along, that have been passed on to you. There are many myths, I'll run through them. And then fourthly, get an idea how to deal with the sexual feelings and get an understanding of the consequences of sexual activity. So the first part, we need to know what we are going to talk about is your body. You need to know your body. I'm not going to go into depth about that. The body parts, where is everything? I know the eyes are here, but especially those areas down there, you need to look at them and know them, so that nobody comes and says, hey, you also have this, and say, hey, I didn't know that I had that. Okay? So you need to know the body parts for yourself. Don't let other people discover them for you. Then you also have to know how the reproductive system works. Where is everything? You need to know things like the hormones that come up when I'm 11, when I'm 10. Things begin happening in my body and I begin to get attracted to the opposite sex. Things begin to happen and I get a deep voice. Things begin to happen and I get breasts. Things begin to happen. Menstruation. Do you know how menstruation occurs? Do we know? Okay, let's try and revise. In our system, I know he's a medical doctor here. In our system here, we have ovaries here, isn't it? And what is it attached to? The fallopian tube. Are you with me? Auntie, I don't have a blackboard. Me, I'm a teacher, but you need blackboard. The fallopian tube, okay? So the little egg comes down to the fallopian tube and stays in that fallopian tube for like 4 to 6 days. Now, if a sperm comes up through where? The vagina, are you still with me? Yes. And it goes up to the fallopian tube and it joins with the egg, then you have a fertilized egg. Okay? When the fertilized egg then comes down from the fallopian tube and gets embedded in the uterus here, the cervix closes and then you are pregnant. Now, if you are not married, there is not a sperm supposed to be coming from where? Through the vagina. When you are not married, there is not supposed to be coming through. So that means the egg is going to come down, it's going to wait in the fallopian tube for a few days, and then realize that it's not going to be fertilized. It will come through, go through the vagina, and it is dispelled. But remember, the uterus, whenever the egg comes down, is waiting. So there's a layer of stuff that is there waiting to receive whatever it's going to receive. And when it realizes after a few days there is nothing that has been received, it's also shed. And that comes out as blood. That is what menstruation is. So you girls are supposed to have menstruation until... Yes, thank you. Until menopause. The only time that you can cease to have that flow of blood when you are pregnant is when you are married. Are we together? Yes. You can put your hand like this if everything is okay, you are listening and you are happy and life is good. The Bible has told us to enjoy, have fun. Okay? So that is know your body parts. Now it's also important for you to know the nature of sex, because some of you think, I'll just have sex with this boyfriend of mine and all will be well. But any time you have sex with anybody, it's not just a physical thing. It pervades everything in your whole body. It involves a lot of intimacy, it's a lot of communication, even when that person that you had sex with is not there. So supposing he was smelling a certain way, when you hear that smell again, it takes you back to that activity. Okay? That sexual experience remains with you for the rest of your life. And anything can be recalled to memory. So, premarital sex to say it's like putting doom in your water and drinking it. You may not die, but it's going to taste very bad, and there are consequences that are there. Okay? These sensations, these emotions, you retain those memories for a very long time. And then the sexual contact is supposed to create a bonding between married people. The cement, when we are doing premarital counseling for people, we say this is a cement that keeps these two people together. So why are you having cement in John, cement in Stephen, cement in who? Yeah? No, it is not essential. So we encourage you not to go that direction. I will be talking more about that. Now you find that sexuality is very intense during adolescence. Adolescence begins at age 11, sometimes earlier, and it goes on until about age 20, 22. So we have the pre-adolescence from about age 9 to about 12, then you have middle adolescence, and then you have post-adolescence. So we have different ages, like you are all here. But this time is so intense during adolescence that it pushes us towards sexuality. It pushes us to want to have sex because there are many things that are coming at us all at the same time. So I want you to imagine that here I am and things are coming at me, and because they are pushing me towards having sex, they keep pushing me backwards toward the sex. There are so many things, and those are the things I'm going to look at. The first one are the physiological changes. My body is changing. I'm speaking like this. My breasts have come. Everything that is sensual, that makes me, there's a sensitivity around me. The changes that have come, they push me towards sexuality. In fact, one time, I was telling someone that one of the most difficult things to handle is this sexuality. Why? Because anybody who touches you anywhere that creates pleasure can actually create problems for you. So don't think because I'm a girl, if I touch you and you are a girl, you will not feel anything. You still feel something. Or if I'm a boy and you touch me in that sensitive area, I will still feel some kind of pleasure. So those changes are happening. The hormones are are making me attracted towards girls and boys. Sorry, I keep using boys or girls, but it's like because I'm a girl, I one, two, three, come. Yeah, are you coming? I know that people who sit in front are usually the ones there. Now we are going to be pushing this one. I need 3 more people, but they must sit okay. You space that way. Push. You are holding on and pushing. Come. Okay? And you are pushing at that one in red. You are pushing that one, not this one. You are pushing the red one. So go and stand here. Push. Both of you are. Don't let go. And even the third one, you go and push. Same person. Number 4, go and push. So you the one in red, what is your name? Yeah? What's the name? Peter. Peter is being pushed by these people. I need a fifth person, but the fifth person has disappeared. I want you to resist the push. So you push. You resist. It's very hard to resist 4 people pushing you. So I'm telling you, these are the push factors that are against this young man. Okay? The physiological changes are offering attraction and excitement. He's also searching for intimacy. It's a push factor. I want somebody, this one has a boyfriend, me I don't have. This one has a girlfriend. I'm searching for someone who will be mine, who will love me. That is the age that is coming. Then also I'm mature. I want to be like the adults. This is what adults do. And then you have peer pressure. Peer pressure is like, whoa, everybody is doing this. I'm also going to do it. Group expectations. Everybody wants you to do what we do. You know, when we dress like this, you dress like that. When we do like this, when you have boyfriends, when you have sex, that's what we do. Okay? So the push factors are many at this age. And I want you to realize them so that you are aware of them. They are not going to go away. Are you with me? They are not going to go away. Now, you might find some barriers. So as Stephen, stand up, please. Peter, stand up. There might be some factors that help this young man to survive. I might have a good family. So you have the 4 people pushing Peter towards this way. They are pushing, but I have a good family. Strong family. Saying, Peter, you are loved. Peter, I'm your mother. Peter, remember. Peter, what are you doing? Peter, where are you? Peter, so I am helping him not to go this way. Are you with me? Yes. Sometimes it is church. And the church here says, okay, we are praying for you, Peter. You are going back home. Peter, 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 come for this thing. Adolescents are meeting. Come for the fellowship. And the family and the church are here to help him not be pushed. So the push factors will remain. They are not going to go away. But I have some people who are supporting. However, some people's families are behind here. Your mother is the one asking, you haven't gone out? You come and say, Mommy, I think I'm sick. They take you to the doctor. They find you are pregnant. Come, come, come. Let me take you to the doctor and we have an abortion. Mama is the one saying that. So sometimes the family comes like that and becomes a push factor as well. So we might have some barriers in our lives that help us not to go that direction. up pornography. The adverts you are seeing everywhere are showing naked women, are showing people dancing in a very bad way. So they stimulate you towards sexuality. Okay? Sometimes it is just our cultures. You know, they're telling you, you haven't pulled, have you ever heard of that pulling? Go, pull. And then when you pull, then you're like, okay, now what? Then they say, okay, now circumcision. After circumcision, you are supposed to find a girl. Hey, push, stimulus. So this is a joint effort, and it becomes, the effect is so intense and sometimes can lead you to get into sexual activity. So I want you to be aware of those things, okay? So that we know what to do. What is it that can help me push back, okay? Those factors. Sometimes the myths, you know the word myth? What is myth? Wrong. It's not. False story. It is not true. Have you ever heard of things like, oh, if you don't have sex, that is why you have a backache. If you have menstrual pain, therefore you have to have sex. Have you ever heard of everyone is doing it anyway? Everyone. So you close your eyes and you think, everyone. Is that true? No. You are alone, by the way. And then say, virginity, you are virgin. That is old-fashioned. It is not old-fashioned. It is where we want you to go. And then another myth is that the media tells you the truth. Does the media tell you the truth? No. Another one. If I consent with this boy, it is not your business. If I consent to have sex with this girl, it is none of your business. That is also false. Then using a condom. Oh, we shall use a condom and everything is going to be okay. Is that true? And then others say, we don't need our parents to be involved. We know what we are doing. Another one. It is not possible to wait. All those are false. Okay? We are all responsible for what you choose to do. Your behavior is purposeful. What are the consequences? I've put some doom in my food. What are the consequences? Physical. Can you give me some physical consequences of sexual activity? One, death. Okay? Yes, you may not die straight away, but you can die. Pregnancy. Then you say, okay, I'll abort. Or I'll use, what? I'll use the contraceptives. I'll never get pregnant. STDs, sexual transmitted diseases, STIs, STDs, HIV, all those physical. Abortions, some people do abortions and they die. Spiritual effects. Spiritual effects, you are breaking God's law. Yes? Loss of self-worth, that becomes emotional. Okay? You are estranged from God. When you do something that God doesn't want you to do, then there is a separation from God. Isn't that so? So it kills our trust for God and our trust in other relationships. Okay? Then emotional, she's talking about self-esteem. You feel insecure. You feel inferior. You feel rejected. Sometimes you see yourself as a sex object. So there are people who just go around saying, yeah, I'm here. I'm an object. You use as you want. Use. So you go, they use. They go and use. They go, they... You know, there's a... I think I have like 5 minutes left. But one time was sitting, having fish in Entebbe at a beach somewhere with my family. And at a distance, I saw some girls, I think they were about 16 years old. And they were in their swimming costumes and they had been swimming, so they come from the swimming pool and the way they were walking was really very suggestive. I was watching them and then in my heart I'm like, oh my goodness, these girls need a word from me. Sometimes that happens to me, sometimes even when I'm driving and I see someone and I say, Lord, that girl needs a word from me. Maybe she doesn't have anyone to tell her. So I stop and I say, can I just say a word to you? Sometimes they look me up and down like this. And then I said, don't look at me like that. I just want to say something small. So I went over to them. There were about 4 girls. And I said, can I please speak to you? They also looked up and down. I said, please give me just 2 seconds. I just want to speak to you. I said, I've been watching you from up there. And I just came down because there were some boys who have now come. They had come with beer. They were calling them. And I was like, oh, this is danger, danger, danger. And so I told them, do you see that latrine over there? And they said, yes. Do you see that people go in there and they deposit things and then they come out? They go in, they deposit susu, they deposit they deposit and they don't stay there. Have you ever seen anyone staying in the toilet saying, you know, you have deposited things here and I really like being here? So I said, you are now behaving like latrines. Oh yeah? You are 16 and you are exposing your body parts and you are, you know, yeah. So they will come. They have already started coming with their beers and what? They'll come and deposit. Do you think they are going to stay? It's something we talked about yesterday and we said, you know, the question we used to ask a lot, who wants to get married? Can you put up your hand if you want to get married? You want to get married? So the kind of person you are going to marry, do you want to marry a virgin? I won't ask you to put up your hand. I would like to marry a virgin. So it's the same illustration I'm saying. That you are going to the latrine. You are not going to marry the latrine. Looks horrible. They've deposited so many things in there. So you look at this girl. She's been used by so many people. I don't want her to be my wife. Is that the kind of person you want to be? So after telling them that, I said, please, your behavior, the way you are doing things, don't be a latrine. And I'm telling you to here. You know, some of you dress and then you start walking and then the boys follow you and then they take you and then you're like, yeah, we got them, but you are a latrine. Whoa. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So, you will be guilty. There will be a lot of anger. I've worked with people. I'm talking from what I have seen when I'm working with people in my counseling room. You get so angry. Sometimes the boy you've had sex with doesn't even remember you. So you feel rejected. Some people get into depression. Some people lack self-confidence. And then, because you now become a second, or a third, or a fourth. I don't want to be a third or a second. With this man, I am the first. And I want to remain the first. Woo! So as I end, what should we do now? One, it's important for you to have a pure mind. We call it the server room. For your sexuality is the brain. What are you putting into your brain? What are you putting into your mind? Your mind is the one that is going to manage your sexuality. So if your mind is full of horrible things, then it will be full of horrible things. You are called to a life of purity. You are called to a life of insight. You are called to a life of discernment. This is what Romans Acts 12:2 says, do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good and perfect will. We no longer conform to what everybody is doing, but we are going to have a renewal of the mind. Your mind is called to purity. Philippians 1:9 and 10 says that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best. So you are 11. May the Lord help you to discern that this is not the right way to go. May the Lord help you to discern that these thoughts of mine that are in the head are not the right one, so that you are choosing those things that are excellent. I was talking to a young girl, I think she's about 17, and I told her, for me, I chose that everything I do with excellence. I'm a teacher by profession, I'm a counselor by profession, but I take time to think through what I'm going to say. I don't just come and blabber, blabber, blabber. I take time. Why? Because I am a woman of excellence. Yeah? So I want you to take that and say, I want to be a woman of excellence in everything I do. P7 I passed, S4 I passed, S6 I passed, Masters I passed, PhD I was the best student. May your mind think holy thoughts. May your mind be cleansed of all ulterior motives, so that you are able to see God. That is what we are praying for, that I may be pure and blameless before Him. So guard your purity. Purity is determined by where your heart is. That's what Reverend John was telling us, that where your heart is, that is where it's going to be. So purity is determined by where your heart is. So set your mind on on things above, not on earthly things. And then I want you to imagine, this is something I also tell many of my clients. I want you to look here for a minute. Can you look here for a minute? And I want you to imagine this is a head with eyes and a nose and a mouth. Okay? So what we put in our heads is determined by us. Our mind has a door. Our mind, just think of your head, your mind, and it has a door. When we have a door, we can either open it or we can, and it is up to you. You can decide that we are closing that door, we are not allowing anybody to come in. That's what you do with your mind. I am not allowing filth to come into my head. I am not allowing these bad words that people are saying. I am not allowing pornography to come in. I am not allowing these pictures that people are showing everyone. I am not allowing. I am closing the door. And what do you put in? Philippians 4:8 tells us, finally, whatever is true, put in the head. Whatever is noble, put in your head. Whatever is right, put in your head. Whatever is pure, put in your mind. Whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. It says, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about those things. So may your mind always be pure. Don't let it be filled with, oh, that girl, see, so you are there, your head goes, you undress her, you have sex with her in your head, instead of thinking of what they are doing history, you are thinking, hey, you can close that door. And instead, what do you do? That's why reading the Word of God then becomes very important. So instead of thinking those things, memorize Scripture. Say, today I have to memorize 3 verses. Yeah? We used to have like little, what do we call them? Little cards. So you have the card, you write the verse, you look at it, you close it, you look at it, then the next time you know it in the head. It has gone in your head. That mind is now pure